Welcome to the RadioU podcast. I am Hudson.
And I'm Allie.
And you might be able to tell this one is a little different because this is a bonus pod.
Yes, it is. It's our new podcast.
Yeah, this is where we get to take the shackles off, the shackles of radio, and we're allowed to curse. No, we're not. We're not going to, but we're allowed to talk as long as we want to. And on the radio, that isn't exactly the case.
Yeah, we have a little bit of some limitations when it comes to talking on the radio, and both of us are in love with sports, particularly football. Particularly college football. And so today's podcast is all about previewing the upcoming college football season, and it's just more fun to be able to talk about it in this format because there's no pressure of trying to, fit it in 5 minutes because there's no way.
We wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to do it. So we have so many thoughts. I mean, we could barely list our 12 teams each that would make...
In 5 minutes? Yeah, there's no way we could do that.
So...
we'd have so many questions for each other. We'd be interrupting and all that.
Yeah,
so
arguing.
It's way easier to do it this way.
All right, so do you want to go first? To do your 12 teams you think will make the playoff?
Before I give that, just as a note, there are exciting things coming with this new podcast format for sports. So stay tuned to that, including potentially some artists getting involved in this.
Can't wait.
We are very excited to combine our love for sports with also our love for music here at Radio U in this podcast. So be looking forward to what's coming ahead with that. All right, let's get into this. Our college football preview for the 2026 season. I'm just going to go. Should I go 12-1? Should I move that direction?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do
that. That sounds fun.
Okay, so at number 12, I have Boise State.
Okay.
As our automatic qualifier for the group of 6.
One of those, mid-major conferences has to make it.
Yeah, I think they will probably go around 11-12 or 11-2 this season. So I think that they will have a solid year, solid enough that they will get the nod as that group of 6 team. Then at 11, I have LSU.
Whoa, LSU. Making it.
Yeah, making it into the playoff.
Get his first college football playoff game, unless he decides to leave for the NFL or something.
Yes, right. We'll see what he does, but yes, I think LSU has a shot of making it in. I think they would probably be like a 2 or 3 loss team though, and so they're probably the team that I'm the most unsure about in this 12.
Yeah.
Coming in at 10, I have Texas Tech.
Okay.
I have them as the Big 12 champion.
Okay.
And then Texas A&M, I have at number 9. I have Ole Miss at 8. I have Indiana at 7. I have Miami at 6 as the ACC champion. I have Texas at 5. I've got Ohio State at 4. I've got Notre Dame at 3. Georgia at 2 as the SEC champ. And Oregon at number 1 as the Big Ten champion.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of differences at the bottom and a lot of similarity at the top.
At the top, yeah.
Because at number 12, I have UNLV.
I liked UNLV too. I think I picked them last year to be the group of 6.
Yeah, because Boise State moved to the Pac-12. UNLV stayed in the Mountain West. The Mountain West got weaker because a bunch of the good teams left to go to the Pac-12. So UNLV is going to be one of the best teams in the the Mountain West for sure. And unlike Boise State, who has to play Oregon, that's basically a guaranteed loss. UNLV doesn't have a guaranteed loss on their schedule. They still have Dan Mullen as coach. So I feel like they have a real shot. I don't think they'll go undefeated, but could they go 11-1 and Boise State goes 10-2? I think that's definitely a shot. So I'll take UNLV. I have BYU at 11.
Okay.
I think they will make it from the Big 12, but I don't have them as a Big 12 champ. I have Tennessee at number 10. I have Houston. I think that's my big shot.
Wow, yes.
At number 9.
Okay.
Then going up, this is where we have much more agreement. Indiana at 8.
Okay.
Ohio State at 7.
Okay.
I also found it very difficult to seed these teams at the top.
I know, same.
I have Alabama 6, Texas 5, Georgia 3, a little run of SEC.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they kind of could round robin each other, and then it just matters who wins the championship in the conference, which I think will be Georgia. I have Miami at number 3 as the ACC champ. I think it's very likely they only lose one game, and that would be to Notre Dame. I have Notre Dame at number 2. I think it's very likely they only lose one game. It could be to Miami. I think they play BYU as well. And then number 1, I have also Oregon as the Big Ten champion.
All right.
So
agreement on the number 1 team.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll come back to this and reveal who we think will be champion. But I think we should go through the conferences and kind of give a little more thoughts. So, alphabetical order, I guess. The ACC.
Okay.
We both have Miami winning the conference.
Yes.
And as the only team in from the ACC.
Yeah, the ACC just overall strength-wise, just not really good right now. And I do think Miami kind of needs to go undefeated in that conference, in conference play almost, to guarantee a spot in the playoff. I think they could still go in if they lose a game, but I feel like they need to be 12-1.
Yeah. Well, I think at the end of the day, if they wind up winning the ACC, even if they don't have an amazing record, they're not going to be 2 group of 6 teams that get in again.
Yeah, no.
So the ACC champion virtually has to make it in.
Yes.
And I think Miami is definitely head and shoulders above the rest of the conference. To me, I feel like I don't know what's better as a conference if you want to get a lot of teams. I just don't know what's better. Do you want to be a top-heavy conference where your best teams are really, really good, but then it kind of is a big drop-off, which I think the ACC kind of is? Or do you want a SEC where it's kind of there's a lot of balance to it, but then a lot of the teams can kind of beat up on each other?
I think you want a healthier league. I think you want more a parity across the board because that lends to bigger payouts for your conference in general, because the matchups that we'll get during the season with these big games with Big Ten teams and SEC teams playing each other, as in an SEC versus SEC, Big Ten versus Big Ten, those games will be the big games on the schedule, that we look forward to every single week. And so you want that because, there's only a couple weeks in the season before we get to the playoffs where you have interconference play. So you need good conferences that have good teams across the board.
Yeah. Okay, if you had to pick an ACC team to be the second team or somebody that could upset and win the conference instead of Miami, who would you think?
Oh, that's a hard one. Let me see here. Who would I pick? There's literally no one.
I have 2 in mind.
Maybe Louisville?
I think the ACC is kind of fraudulent that it's Miami and everybody else, because I think there's some decent teams in the ACC, but I do think
it was competitive last year.
Yeah,
Miami didn't look that dominant until the very end, really.
Yeah, but that's what I think could hurt. It's the teams beat up on each other, and none of them seem great, even though the wins are quality wins. But when you put it up against the SEC or Big Ten, it's not going to look the same. So I feel like SMU is a good team.
I do love SMU, yeah.
I feel like they kind of have a tough schedule.
I always kind of cheer for them,
Yeah. They have great merch. Their uniforms and stuff are amazing.
We love it. It's the Mustangs or the Cowboys?
I think Mustangs.
Mustangs, yeah.
I believe in the last 2 years, they've only lost 2 ACC games.
Yeah, they have had great seasons. They've made it to the playoff. They are a good team, and definitely watch out for them.
They were the next team in my bracket of if I had to swap somebody out, I probably would have put them in.
Yeah, they're a feel-good team.
I just think their schedule's tough. NC State doesn't have a tough schedule and does have a good team, but I just can't believe that even if with their easier schedule they go 10-2 and they're going to make it, it's hard for me to imagine that.
Yeah. For sure.
Now, the arguably best conference in football, the Big Ten.
Yeah, they're on a run of winning the playoff now for 3 years in a row?
3 in a row. Michigan, Ohio State, Indiana.
So, and a lot of people picking Oregon to win it this year. Mm-hmm. So there's a chance for a four-peat as a conference. People picking Oregon, people picking Ohio State. I think those are 2 of the top teams people are picking right now. They're the top 2 teams in both the polls right now. So there's a lot to like from the top teams in this conference. There's a lot to not like from the bottom teams of the conference, but I think they definitely have the strength of college football right now when it comes to talent, talented rosters. You cannot deny that a lot of the talent in college football right now is in the Big Ten.
Yeah, and it feels like it's culminated on the top, though.
Yeah.
Do you only have the 3 teams from the Big Ten as well, right?
Yeah, so I have here, let me pull it up real quick. I've got Oregon, I've got Ohio State, I've got Indiana. Yep. So I just have those three big teams making it in. But I think other than Indiana, because they're a wild card, I think Oregon and Ohio State have really good shots of winning the whole thing.
Yeah, I like Oregon is a good combo for this season of I think they're really good and the schedule is manageable.
Yes.
Ohio State.
That's why I didn't pick them as the Big Ten champion.
But their schedule is a gauntlet. And then Indiana, I think, will definitely take a step back versus last year. But their schedule is, I mean, besides the Ohio State game,
it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I could definitely envision a scenario where Indiana misses the playoff. Because if you remember last year, they had a couple games that came, and we've talked about this on the actual show, that came down to the last moment and Fernando Mendoza saved them more or less.
Yeah.
You don't win those coin flips over and over and over again. And even if Indiana does have a lot of talent, which they do, like if it comes down to those coin flip games, I'm sure Josh Hoover is going to be a very good quarterback, but is he Fernando Mendoza? I think there's definitely a chance that they wind up, missing one more game than maybe they need to, and that winds up having them miss the playoff. Is there another team, if you had to pick another team from the Big Ten to make the playoff?
Maybe USC.
I don't believe in USC.
I'm kind of waiting on them to prove it, and we haven't had that prove it season for them. I think I've got my eye on what Michigan's going to look like. I've got my eye on Washington. They always have a decent amount of talent there. And I also have my eye on Penn State and what they look like.
I've heard a lot of love for Penn State because their schedule isn't particularly difficult, but it's Matt Campbell at coach now, who came over from Iowa State. And what did he always do at Iowa State? He was always one win short of, he never made the playoff. They never won the Big 12.
Yeah.
I feel like, and all of a sudden now you're going to be able to not come up one win short in a tougher conference at the top. You have an easier schedule, but you don't have the easiest schedule of all time.
Yeah, it's a tough ask for sure. So, but I have my eyes on those. I would say they're kind of like huddled. Even in the poll, they're huddled together because it just feels like we don't really know what to expect from them.
Yeah, but I don't trust USC at all because they play Oregon and Washington, both at home, but that's back-to-back weeks. The following week, they go to Penn State. They're not winning at Penn State. They don't win on the East Coast.
Yeah, they really don't.
Then they go to Wisconsin, who by that point, maybe they fired their coach already.
Yeah.
But if not, that's a tough game on the road going east. And then they have to play Ohio State, and then they have to play Indiana.
Yeah.
How many games is USC really going to win out of that?
Yeah, no, it's going to be a tough season for them. But if they somehow are able to, let's say, only get 2 losses in the Big Ten, like that schedule to only walk away with 2 losses, you're not telling. There's no way they're getting left out of the playoffs.
Yeah, and they're a brand name. I like Michigan a lot, but I just don't know what to expect from Bryce Underwood, a quarterback.
Yeah,
sounds like they're going to run him a lot, which sounds like he could get injured.
Oh yeah,
that derailed so many Kyle Whittingham seasons at Utah is injuring your quarterback.
Yep.
And it's honestly the same criticism of Matt Campbell. Kyle Whittingham doesn't get to the playoff in the Big 12 with a much more grown-up roster than much of the rest of the league would have. And now at Michigan, he's not going to have the talent advantage. I think Michigan is one of the most talented teams in the country, but they have a difficult schedule and a quarterback question marks, and he just always seems to come up a little short. So I have a hard time seeing it. So but Michigan might be my pick because even if they can win a couple of those hard games, they're a brand name that, we could even see a 9-3 team make it in.
Oh, yeah. I have LSU looking like a 9-3 team that would make it in, but easily they could be interchanged with somebody else's 9-3 team because there's so many hard schedules out there that if you can look convincing in some of those losses, look good in some of those losses, I know that sounds crazy, have a good loss, but the committee does respect good losses.
They definitely seem to.
And so I think there is a shot that a 9-3 team from the Big Ten or the SEC, I think that's the limit. It cannot be from any other conference. It's the Big Ten or the SEC. One of those teams definitely can make it in.
They respect good losses unless you're Notre Dame.
Yeah. Again, you have to be from the Big Ten and the SEC. Yeah. Sorry, Notre Dame.
All right. This is the conference that we had the most disagreement in, and that's the Big 12.
Yeah.
Because you have Texas Tech as the only team in.
Yes.
I have Houston and BYU both in.
Yeah.
And my thinking is, I think Texas Tech, there's the talk that they are just supremely talented versus the other teams in the league. And I think they're definitely, there's a talent disparity for sure.
Yeah.
But they may be hampered at quarterback.
Maybe.
With losing
we don't really know.
Their backup is Will Hammond, who is also he played in one of their losses last year. He's also been injured to start the year. I don't know if he's going to I don't know the latest update of if he's going to be ready for week 1 or if that's even necessary, but they play Houston early on. I think Houston is going to be a good team.
It's going to be a gotcha game.
Yeah, and so I think that there's a big thing to be said of with the Brendan Sorsby stuff at Texas Tech. They are going to have and they're the reigning champs.
Yeah.
They're going to have a massive target on their back.
Yeah.
And even if they have a talent disparity, I think and why are we just convinced that Joey Maguire after 1 year is 1 year making the playoff is a god of a coach?
I'm not convinced of that either. I just think that there's similar to what we'll see in some of the other conferences. There's going to be some round robin in these conferences.
Yeah.
And who comes out on top? I think it's the more talented team when it comes to a round robin. And so I think Texas Tech has more talent and will get more wins overall to come out as the champion. I don't think they're going to get somebody else beside the champion.
I really love BYU to make it because I think they could easily go through the season with only 1 loss to Notre Dame, and then obviously they'd be undefeated in the Big 12, so they'd be in the championship game. And so, similar to what happened last year, they only lost to Texas Tech and then lost to them again.
Yeah.
They got smashed by Texas Tech.
Yeah.
In the conference championship game. I think BYU, they're more experienced. They're, these Mormon BYU, Utah, where they have the guys that have been on the Mormon missions, these are bigger grown men.
Yeah.
And experienced and that kind of thing. Having adults on your team really seems to matter.
Sure.
So I think that benefits BYU a lot. And then Houston, like I said, I think they get Texas Tech at a good time, and that could be enough to get them into the conference championship game. It's Willie Fritz. I think they're well coached. Mm-hmm. And so I think they get into the conference championship game. And then if you have 2 1-loss Big 12 teams versus a 3-loss Big 10 team or
you think you were getting 3 1-loss Big 12 teams?
No, I'm potentially, yeah.
3 of them. Even
I don't
after,
think they'll
even
make
after
it in.
the championship?
I think, I guess 1 loss during the regular season.
Okay.
Houston, Texas Tech, BYU, I could see them all having 1 loss only.
Yeah.
And then it's Houston beat Texas Tech, so can you leave Houston out even though they lost in the conference champ? You know what I mean? So
Sure.
I just kind of...
If that happens, it would give the committee a headache.
It would. It definitely would.
They'd be like, what do we do?
I also think they wouldn't feel so bad leaving Texas Tech out as the team that tried to have their gambling-addicted quarterback still play for them.
Yeah, sure. I would hope that they wouldn't go to that length of wanting to try and police college football. But we've seen them do something similar before.
Other conferences are this is just made up of other, athletic directors and whatever. And they've seemed to have it out for Texas Tech.
They definitely
so,
do.
Like I said, I don't think they'll cry a lot of tears.
No.
Now, the SEC. Who do you have in from the SEC again?
I've got a lot of teams. The SEC is the most represented conference in my playoff. So Georgia as the champ. I've got Texas as my 5 seed. I've got Ole Miss in there, Texas A&M, and LSU as a 3-loss team making it in. But again, they kind of feel like an interchange spot for me. I like LSU this year, but I could see somebody else penciling in there. So LSU is penciled into me for me right now.
I do not like LSU this year. I think one thing that to be factored in is there's always a quarterback in the SEC, especially in their first year. They haven't played there yet. And it's this guy wasn't ready for the SEC. You know what I mean? And Sam Leavitt has not played in the SEC. It's this guy's going to be awesome, but do we actually know that he can hang with the SEC, defenses and the tough schedule that LSU has? So I don't buy LSU. And then yet again, is another... The 12-team playoff is only a couple years old, so I guess it's a small sample size, but Lane Kiffin made it this one time with Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And then he
left the team.
So, but all these years, it's Lane Kiffin's this top-tier coach, and he's a good coach, but he always seemed to donk it off some way and not be able to, get to the conference championship game even. So.
Yeah. I don't think he's making it to the conference championship. No way. But I do think he's going to skate by enough that he'll have 3 what would be considered good losses and make it into the playoff.
I have, I had Georgia as the champion as well, and then Texas and Alabama. I have Alabama and Tennessee in, which you did not have them in.
No.
You had Ole Miss and LSU.
Yeah, I do.
I also think Ole Miss is the team that's primed to be just actually, like, they could go 500 to me.
Yeah, Ole Miss is a wild card. I know we talked about that when we talked about the coaches poll when it came out, because we were so deprived of college football. We were like, let's talk about the coaches poll. Yeah, Ole Miss is a wild card for sure. But I know you have never believed in Trinidad Chambliss.
Yeah.
I do believe in Trinidad.
No, I think he's great, but to expect, like, he had to carry them through the playoffs last year, and he did.
He did.
But that's a lot to ask of somebody for an entire season.
It is, but it is nice to have somebody that has that experience on your roster.
Yeah.
But lead your team.
Think about, like, I don't know if it's apples to apples, but like Jaden Daniels is on the mind right now. He won the Heisman with LSU, where he was clear. I mean, obviously, he was the best player in college football that season. They still only went 9-3 that year. You know what I mean?
I didn't personally think he was the best, but okay. I mean, it's fine. Like, he was very talented, but I don't think Ole Miss. I don't think Trinidad Chambliss needs to go out there and win the Heisman. I just think they need to, put together a good season, get some good wins. I do think they have one of the easier schedules in the SEC, and so I think they can make it happen.
I picked Tennessee. They were, even though I didn't have them as the last seeded team, I had them as like I said, SMU might have been the team I would swap in. I'm not confident in Tennessee, but it's kind of a homer pick because I like Tennessee.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't have them on the board at all. Not even a thought.
But if you look at their schedule, it is manageable, especially when you consider that they have Alabama. That's their toughest. I mean, they play Texas and Alabama. Both of those games are at home. Obviously, you would think they're going to lose one.
Yeah.
But maybe they could win the other, particularly because they have Alabama at home the week after Alabama plays against Georgia.
Okay.
So that's a tough turnaround.
Yeah.
And in college football, unless you're like a really elite team, a lot of times you have a big home game and you win it. Trying to go on the road to another tough game
the following week
usually comes back to bite you. But I like Alabama a lot this year as well. I think that, like, we both ignored Oklahoma.
Yeah, I don't believe.
And they're ranked in the top 10.
I know. I just don't believe in them. I don't know why. I just do not believe that they are going to get it done.
They're another team that falls into the category of, I think they're a good team, but they have a brutal schedule.
Yeah, very brutal.
So
very, very brutal. And I overall, like, the SEC, it's brutal. Because even looking at, like, Ole Miss's record, who I think has one of the easier records in the SEC, they still have to play Georgia. They get to play them at home. And they still have to play at Oklahoma. They get LSU at home, and they have to play at Texas. It's like those are 4 games that are just really tough. And that's on an easier side of the SEC. They don't have to play Alabama. They get Georgia at home. There's parts of their schedule that are considered easy when it's like, yikes.
They also have a game. They kick off the season against Louisville too. That's a tough game too.
I think they'll win that game.
It feels like if you were looking at the conferences and picking like which conference has the most possible teams you could see making it in, not like how many will make it, but you could see this team making it. You could see this team making it. I feel like the SEC is definitely number one of.
I am still factoring.
There's like 8 teams that you would be like, yeah, that makes sense.
I'm still factoring in SEC bias because you know me, I'm not a big fan of the SEC, and so I think that there is bias, and that's why I even considered a 3-loss LSU being in the playoff, because I do think the committee will give a nod to an SEC 3-loss team because they're an SEC team.
What about neither of us mentioned a team that made it last year, Texas A&M?
I have Texas A&M in.
Oh, you
at number 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was another one. So you have 5 SEC teams.
5 SEC teams.
Oh my gosh.
Texas A&M, LSU. Who else here? Georgia. No, Texas.
Yeah.
Ole Miss. Yeah.
Texas A&M is in the category of Indiana for me.
Okay.
I think they're good. I think they're well coached. I really like Mike Elko.
Same.
But last year they played not the toughest schedule in the SEC. and they had a lot of really close calls.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously they played Notre Dame too, and barely that was a really close call. You flip any of those losses, they don't make the playoff in the first place. And so you, again, unless you're an elite team, you don't win the coin flips every time.
Yeah.
And so some of those it has to come back to the middle for Texas A&M, and so that's why.
I think they're going to build some early momentum, though, because if you look at their schedule, it does not really get hard for them until October, end of October.
Yeah.
Because they have the one game at LSU end of September, but before that, it's a lot of cupcake,
Yeah.
So, I mean, they just need to get really strong right around October, which is the time when people usually turn it up a gear anyways. And then they have a little bit of a gauntlet at the end of the season.
Their closing stretch, Alabama, South Carolina, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Texas. That is tough.
But before that, they can bank a lot of wins.
Yeah.
Bank 8 wins before that and then go 2-2 and you're good. You're making the playoff.
They could be 6. Is that 6? They could be 6-0, 7-0.
Yeah.
And ranked and it's going to be could they win the championship? And then they could.
And then they have to play
They'd be
gauntlet.
8-4 to end the season.
No, all they have to do is go 2-2, go 500 at the end of the year, and they'll be fine.
Okay. Then, is there anything else you want to add about the group of 6?
Not really. I mean, obviously, I picked Boise State, but I think there are other teams to keep an eye on, for sure. So I would say, keep an eye on Navy. I really like Navy. I think they could have an opportunity to do something.
I would love to see one of the service academies make it in from the American Conference. But I feel like a problem for them is they always have to schedule Notre Dame, and they always get blasted by them.
So
that's a guaranteed loss.
Yeah. And then my
Then
favorite...
you kind of have to go clean the rest of the conference way. And it's tough for them, even though they're always good teams.
Yeah. I like UNLV. Like you said, you picked them as your team. That's the group of 6. And then I always love Tulane every year.
Have you seen their Mardi Gras jerseys?
I love them. The Green Wave is my favorite merch and favorite design other than Ohio State. They are my spirit animal.
I would love Tulane to make the playoff.
Yes.
I don't even know what's going on. I don't think they lost their coach, right? He went to Florida.
Yes, not many people believe in Tulane. They're not even on the they're not even I don't even know if they got any votes. They're not on anyone's radar, but I love Tulane.
The thing is, I feel like to me, if it's not UNLV or Boise State as one of the group of 6, whoever it is going to be someone you could just not see coming. You know what I mean? It's just going to be somebody wild.
It could be a total out of nowhere. So, and that to me was James Madison last year.
Yeah.
Totally out of nowhere.
It could be New Mexico. It could be, I don't know if they're eligible, but they're in the Mountain West now, North Dakota State. Are they allowed?
I would love it if North Dakota State could show everybody hey, we've been winning the FCS championship a bunch, so let's try and win the FBS now.
I mean, I'm rooting for UNLV just because it's my pick, but I would love to see somebody wild make it in.
Yes, it's fun. James Madison being in was really fun last year.
As long as it's only 1 and not 2.
No, I didn't have any problem with it being 2. I thought it was
Who
fun.
even was the other one?
Oh, gosh. I don't even remember.
Oregon played James Madison.
Yes, and it wasn't a terrible game.
Ole Miss was the other one, right? That had...
Yes. Oh, gosh. Who was it?
Who was it?
Who were the group of 6 teams last year?
Hold on. I'm looking at a list. This is crazy.
How do we not remember?
Yeah.
They played that badly. I know it was a not good game for them.
It couldn't have been from the
was it Cincinnati?
No, Cincinnati was Cincinnati's in the Big 12. They couldn't have been it.
Okay, yeah, no, sorry.
Who did UNLV play? It must have been somebody, North Texas.
Why does Google not want to tell
Tulane? Was it Tulane? It was Tulane.
It was Tulane.
Yeah.
It was the Green Wave. They did make the playoff. How are we forgetting this? Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, that is kind of sad.
I might cut this out. No. But yeah,
okay.
they did not look that good against Ole Miss.
One other question before we get to champions, Heisman, end of season stuff. But is there any scenario you can imagine Notre Dame not making it?
Not really. I mean, I really do like them a lot.
It would have to be a disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd have to lose 3 games, right?
Yes.
And you're looking at their schedule,
There's not three losses on this schedule.
They do play SMU, but that's at home. They play Miami. That's at home, and it's later in the season, where last year was right at the beginning.
I think the one loss they have is Miami.
Yeah.
Miami or BYU.
I think they're going to be ready for Miami, and Miami coming up to South Bend in November. Like, that's going to be a tough game
Miami.
for them.
I think Miami, because I have Miami with one loss. I think Miami, their one loss could be Notre Dame, and they go undefeated in the ACC, or they could, beat Notre Dame and then lose to one of the ACC teams like an SMU or Louisville or something. But yeah, I feel like Notre Dame, they look pretty good.
Yeah, they've got a good mix of experienced team coming back, lots of talent, and a lot of motivation.
Oh, so much
motivation. It's going to keep them going every week.
Yes.
Even for the
great coaching.
And great coaching.
Great coaching.
And a schedule that's definitely
It's so
workable.
soft, guys. So soft. You can do this.
Okay. You want to do your national champion then?
Yes, I have my national champion as the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Of course you do.
How can I not pick my Buckeyes? Come on. I have them getting jilted in the Big Ten championship game, like losing to Oregon, but I do have them winning the whole.
They have an unfair, but like they have a disadvantage of getting to the conference championship game, which sometimes works out to be an advantage because they play Indiana and Oregon.
Yes.
So if they would lose to either of those two, and one of those two goes one loss, they lose that tiebreaker.
I have them splitting. So I have Oregon losing in the regular season to Ohio State, and that's their only loss. And then I have Ohio State losing to Oregon in the Big Ten championship game. So they split. So which has happened before, and so I feel like that would be. It hasn't happened in the Big Ten championship game, but they've split in a season before.
Yeah.
Where they Oregon won in the regular season and lost in the playoff to Ohio State.
Okay, and wait, you have Ohio State beating who in the championship game?
Who would I have them playing in the championship game? Here's the thing: the seeds are hard for me.
I know, yeah. I'm gonna go off of my seeds, but it's just dumb.
I'd have to work it out exactly.
As if I'm gonna get all 12 right anyway.
Yeah. I would say Notre Dame or Georgia would probably be the two teams I would look at as teams that have the best shot to making it into the championship game.
Okay, I have in my championship. Okay, based off of my bracket, I have Oregon and Georgia playing in the semifinals because they're 1 and 4.
Oh yeah, no, I have them as 1 and 2, so they don't have to play each other.
I think those are the two best teams.
Okay.
And so I would have, if I was just picking who are the two best teams, I think Georgia will beat Oregon in the championship.
Wow.
But if I'm picking based off of my seeds in my bracket, I guess it'll be Georgia over Notre Dame.
Okay.
But I think...
But you think the game for the championship could be Oregon versus Georgia?
Yeah. If I was, just depending on how the bracket.
Off of best team.
Yeah. I think there's... Georgia and Oregon both meet the criteria for me of a championship winning team, which is a very experienced team. Indiana and Ohio State that have won recently, and even if you go back to Michigan, very experienced.
Yeah. Yep.
At all positions, like especially at quarterback.
Yep.
Fernando Mendoza, Will Howard, going back to Michigan, J.J. McCarthy, very experienced at quarterback, very experienced senior-laden rosters. That's Oregon and Georgia. Then I feel like you also obviously need good coaching.
Yeah.
You need... you need I feel like an extra burst of motivation.
Yes.
Where you feel like you maybe were wronged a little bit recently. This team has to come together, has a reason to come together because of what's happened to them in the past. Georgia, all these guys, they have one of the most consistent rosters where so many of these guys have been on the team for so long. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know, they lost to Ole Miss. That's got to stick in their craw a little bit. Kirby Smart's a great motivator.
Yeah.
Oregon, obviously, they've just, the way their seasons have ended recently and the way they played against Indiana, you got to have a bad taste in your mouth after that.
You want to correct that for sure.
And so it's so 50-50, but I think those are the two top teams that meet the criteria for me of champions.
Okay.
I can see a world where Notre Dame wins. I can see a world where Texas wins. I can see, obviously, I'm going to say Ohio State.
I was going to say, can you see a world where Ohio State? Because all the things you're talking about with experience, I do think Ohio State gained a lot of good experience on the really important positions last year. You have a lot of talent coming back with Jeremiah Smith, Bo Jackson, Julian Sayin. Mm-hmm. So they have experience there.
I think that Ohio State, what keeps me away is I don't know what the defense is going to be like. I feel like they lost a lot of talent there. And I think Julian Sayin in the bigger games tended to struggle quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so
I think that was
I mean, it's his second year.
Yeah, I think that was a protection problem, particularly because his pocket kept collapsing. So the offensive line had some struggles, had some injuries and all of that. So I'd like to see improvement there.
Yeah. He's going to get an early test against Texas. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, what was that? Oregon, Notre Dame, Georgia, Ohio State, Texas. I think I have 5 teams I could envision
winning the championship. And that's what we like to see. We like to see some parity there and, more than just like, oh, it's just this team is going to win.
And last year, there was no circumstances could I have seen Indiana winning, and they did.
They came out of nowhere.
I would have been very skeptical of Miami winning.
Yeah.
This year, I like Miami a lot, but because I feel like they kind of exercise a lot of the demons of like blowing a game they don't need to.
I know.
Even though they still did that last year, if you remember.
They definitely did. But there were times where they looked really bad.
I also think they lost a lot of talent on defense, so I don't know what it's going to be like.
Who's your dark horse out of your playoff picks? The team that would be like an Indiana that comes out of nowhere and you wouldn't expect to win.
I guess... I don't know if I see, I just feel like Indiana's so one of one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost Indiana, Yeah,
it would be an Indiana.
I think they'll be in the mix.
That would be unexpected, but I think Texas A&M is more talented than Indiana, so I would say Texas A&M is a dark horse for me. I don't necessarily believe in Arch Manning in Texas, so if they ended up winning, that would be an unexpected one for me, even though I have them as my 5 seed.
Think about this, though. If Texas... let's say they get to the SEC championship game, even if they lost it and they're going to be in the playoff, that would have to, by that point, you will be like, I feel like I can't doubt Arch Manning too much because he got them here.
If we know more about them then and see some really good moments from Arch Manning, then my opinions will change as the year goes on.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I'm like, Texas is kind of a prove it. Arch Manning's a kind of prove it for me. Let me see it. And like you said, there's a big game coming up, week 2 of college football, Ohio State versus Texas. I think that's a primetime game.
Yeah.
So that's going to be exciting to watch. I have Texas and Ohio State both as 2 lost teams, and I have Texas getting revenge on Ohio State.
Yeah. It's interesting you're picking Texas.
I'm picking Texas, although I could kind of see similar to what happened last year, it going either way.
Yeah. I that is gonna rightly or wrongly, because like it could be a close game, and then like last year was a close game.
It was a touchdown. Was the difference, I think.
And
very low scoring.
It could make us. It can play to the style of it being close, even though it doesn't mean that both teams are similarly as good.
Yes.
Or it could also play to the style of like one team gets out early and then kind of just never lets up the lead, and so they look dominant, and it might mean but they both could be very comparable.
Yeah,
so.
I could really see anything happening in that game.
I feel like we could overreact to that game.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's what happened last year. We definitely overreacted to that game. But I do think my mind might change as we get closer to it. As of right now, though, I do think that Texas will eke out a win over Ohio State.
Yeah, they do have the home field advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, Heisman winner. Something tells me you're not picking Arch Manning.
I'm not picking Arch Manning. Sorry. I'm gonna go with a home, not a home pick, but I'm gonna go with like a favorite pick for this.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with CJ Carr. I do think he is the favorite right now to win the Heisman, and I do really like what Notre Dame has on their schedule, that I think he has a lot of opportunity to really buff his stats.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what LSU did for Daniels, Jaden Daniels. And so I think that can help out Carr a lot, because while I really want to pick Julian Sayin or Jeremiah Smith, the same problem is going to happen to them that happened to them last year, which is they'll pull votes from each other. And so neither of them can win it, even though their stats and their seasons will probably look really good, and they might truly be the best team and the best tandem in college football. And I do think Jeremiah Smith is the most talented non-quarterback in all of college football. But I just think, unfortunately, because they play on the same team, fortunately for me, though, they'll pull votes from each other. So I'll go with Carr because he's the one shining star, not really, but like the one shining star on Notre Dame, and they'll have an opportunity to really pad his stats.
Yeah, I have a harder time picking the Heisman winner. than the champion.
It is hard to pick
because I feel like you don't have to be the best player on the best team to win it necessarily. I will say I can't really see Arch Manning winning it.
Yeah,
because I feel like Texas, his expectations are already so high, even though he got dumped on so much last year, that just because of the name, his expectations are so high that he would have to have Texas have like an undefeated season.
Yes.
So, and they're not going to do that.
He'd have to have incredible stats, and I just don't think he's capable of that. Like, I just literally do not think he can go out there and have, like, a game where it just looks like he's amazing. Like, he's going to have the screw-ups.
And the schedule is too tough to have a lot of games where you can run up the score.
Yeah.
So I can't see him. I am torn. I just throw all the names out there I really believe in, and that's Dante Moore from Oregon.
Yeah, he's
It probably just makes sense to pick him. CJ Carr I can definitely see, and like exactly for the reasons you said. Similarly for Darian Mensah from Miami, I think he's going to put up big numbers.
I like Mensah.
I do too.
Yeah.
I really liked him at Duke last year.
Yep.
I kind of wish that they donked off a couple games, or else they could have been in the playoff.
I like him. Now that you mention him, I like him as a dark horse because he has an opportunity to really run up stats as well.
And my real dark horse, and I'm kind of just leaning towards picking him because I just feel like he'll be the most fun out of these guys. And that is actually, I'm going to strike Dante Moore out because I don't think Oregon is going to do the running up the score. Like, they're going to protect him.
Yeah, sure.
And get Dylan Raiola, who's their backup, a chance, in some blowout games. So I'm going to take.
Is Raiola still there?
At Oregon. He went to Oregon.
Oh, I don't know why I thought he was gone. I thought he'd been drafted.
No. So he's there as the backup, which is another reason to really think that even if, like, how many teams.
Does Raiola have a brother that got drafted? Or something?
I don't think so. He was at Nebraska and he transferred to Oregon this offseason.
Yeah. Okay. Why did I legit think he was gone?
I'm going to just go crazy here. This is my crazy thing. I'm taking Keelan Russell from Alabama.
No way.
Yeah, because I think they have a good season. Kalen DeBoer, for all the criticism, like his quarterbacks always, Ty Simpson had a good season last year for a lot of it, even with all the struggles they had, and they still made the playoff. He'll have a lot of Jalen Milroe work.
He'll have a lot of Heisman potential moments if he can deliver.
Big games, a chance to put up big numbers, and a sense that he's carrying the team maybe more so than some of these other guys.
Okay.
I think, and he's the kind of player, like a running quarterback.
And we've seen that a lot with the Heisman recently. It needs to be the one shining star on the team, like a Daniels, he's the guy that just nobody else on the team is taking away any of his spotlight.
And I feel like there's a trend with the Heisman where it doesn't typically tend to be the favorite. You don't go wire to wire as the Heisman winner these days.
It's pretty hard to do that.
And so that's a good reason to, there's debate at the top, but that's a good reason to ignore CJ Carr, Dante Moore, and Arch Manning as the favorites. So I'll take Keelan Russell.
Okay.
One last question. One coach you guarantee will be fired.
Guaranteed fired? I feel like you already kind of hit on it.
Which one is that?
Fickle.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think he's done for.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know what to expect from Wisconsin, and I feel like they're resistant to. I mean, they could have easily fired him last year.
They're resistant because he's a home kid, and they want him to do well. I think, but I don't think it's gonna work.
I mean, I said guarantee. And so I'm going to say Mike Norvell. That's a guarantee at Florida State. He's not going to last.
Yeah, the Seminoles, they don't really hold on to people very, very, very long if they don't do well.
How good? What's the worst Florida State could be and he still keeps his job?
The worst?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a good question because I don't have high expectation for them.
Like last year they were 5-7.
They were really bad last year.
How much better?
The leash is short. The chair is hot.
Yeah.
I would say he has to make it to a bowl game.
Yeah.
To guarantee
at minimum, which he could do.
Yeah.
But even that, I feel like they could definitely fire him.
He could still get fired, but I think he has to get to a bowl game to at least have some job security. I think they want him to go 8-4.
Their first 3 games, New Mexico State, which they'll win. Then SMU, which is
I think they're losing that game.
than at Alabama, which they're definitely going to get smashed.
They're going to lose that game because that's revenge.
So if they're 1-2 and they get smashed and embarrassed by Alabama,
could they get? Yeah, they could be an early fire for sure if they get crushed by Alabama and lose to SMU.
I definitely think there's a chance that that this is the last year for Lincoln Riley to throw out there. I think Dabo could be out. And, I mean, it feels kind of stupid not to mention
Dabo at Clemson. Yeah, I mean, we didn't even mention Clemson.
No, because, they're
irrelevant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it feels wrong not to mention Bill Belichick as one who's got to.
He's got to go.
Pretty good
Why
chance.
is he still here?
Yeah.
That's the question.
But I think they could surprise against TCU in Ireland. I
like it. I like that idea. Yeah. Bill Belichick, big moments,
Right.
Yes. He's been preparing.
Sonny Dykes, is he the coach for TCU? Has he ever been over to Ireland?
That's
overseas?
Maybe he went and scouted it out.
Yeah,
but no.
Probably not. But, Bill Belichick definitely did like games in England and stuff in the NFL.
He's got a way more experience dealing with this.
Exactly. So
I like that. I like that idea. He starts off the season real well. People are like, Bill Belichick, he'll be fine, and then he'll lose like 5 straight games, and then they fire him.
All right. I mean, we could probably go on for another 45 minutes, but this is probably enough.
Just as a reminder, let's wrap up with saying our champions and Heisman picks.
Okay. I'll go. I have Georgia winning the championship over Oregon as the second best team, and I am picking Keelan Russell from Alabama. Keelan Russell from Alabama to win the Heisman.
All right. I've got Ohio State winning. I don't really know who they'll be playing in the championship game because the seeds are weird and everything, but I could see it being Georgia. I could see it being Notre Dame. I kind of hope it's Georgia, but I have CJ Carr of Notre Dame winning the Heisman.
And there it is. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already, because we're going to have more episodes coming up that are side things from the regular radio morning show.
Yes.
And they're a lot of fun.
It's going to be so much fun. Definitely subscribe.
And we'll probably have to do this for the NFL too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.